Alright, so here we have my bones order. I've only opened up the top of it, and now I'm going to start looking through it. This would be one of the dragons, I'm assuming. Yep, that right there. That's Cinder. I actually have this one in metal, so I recognize the body. The nice thing about the bones is, for whatever reason, they're able to get nice deep joints in there, so they're really easy to put together. Yep, good old signature card. Now you know who to send all the thank yous to. Looks like the mother of worms. This was a demonic model. Came out at the end, relatively large. Looks like this would make a good purple worm substitute in addition to being its own unique thing. One of the things I like about the bones material is the bases are relatively nice sized. And I'm hoping Reaper does some terrain in this material. This must be the Aboleth. This is another one. Nope, not the Aboleth. Excuse me. Kraken. This is another one I actually have in the metal version. I think this one's going to be a little easier to assemble. This is their blue kit, it looks like. Included a bunch of watery based creatures because, hey, water and blue, right? This thing is so big that it looks like it's going to be very fun to put together and very fun to paint. As I mentioned before, it looks like it's easily slotted. I'm going to slide in for a second here, because if you look and you can see the different slots, make it easy to just pop together and minimize the amount of struggle one has to do with these things. This is a huge figure, by the way. This bag over here, that's a figure of normal size. You can see right over here, everything on this is much bigger, including its skull. I ordered a case because you can never have too many cases. Last time, there was a problem with glue. I haven't actually done too much with this yet, but I like this better than the original one. Doesn't have as many slots, but the slots here are bigger and look like they'll hold more. Unfortunately, when I say hold more, I mean hold larger figures, not hold more figures. And you get 2 of those, so that's not bad. I should have bought 2 of those when I had the opportunity. Continuing on, this one is a little bit bigger box, I think, because of the nature of the box. The struggle is real, people. The struggle is real. There we go. Dragons don't share. Now, in addition to the dragon itself and the adventurers invading its lair, I'm assuming that this portion over here, which is why this is laid on the bottom, is all of the terrain. Another demonic creature, probably a D&D equivalent of a retriever or something of that nature. Spider, demonic. Here we go. Another bones pack of the dragon. This is a weird looking one. Kind of reminds me of the old Warhammer dragons. And that it's Verokithrax. Got the weird looking face, scrawny body. Bones! Expansion set 1. So, I'd have to pop this one open to see what's in there, which perhaps I'll do in a moment. Just looking to make sure everything else is here. Bones! Expansion set 2. A frightening faction of fearsome figurines. Bones! Expansion set 3. Bit more. I think this one was the sci-fi one. I was a little torn on that, but I've got a skirmish game, blasters and bulkheads, so I'm usually looking for a bit more of that material. I bet that in here are my paints, because I actually ordered the paints. And I'm going to actually see if I can open this up with one hand while I continue recording. And yes, paints. Glorious paints, because one can never have too many paints. And then we see more of the figures. Bunch of the different material here in terms of size. So I'm betting this might be one of the demon lords or the devil lords, because there was a couple different varieties of it. Same thing with this. Size indicates that it's something big, but in this case I recognize it. Hill Giants. This is from the Giant set. Very good set in terms of what it's going to look like when it's assembled, and I would have actually bought it in metal, but it was not cheap. I keep hoping they'll come out with their King Kong version next in the Bones material, because that one looks like it's going to be fun. But again, I wouldn't want to buy it in metal. The smaller ones like this seem to be in a little bit better shape than the Bones I received the last time from the last Kickstarter. Not in that there was anything wrong with them, but several of them in the last Kickstarter were bent in notorious directions, which required a little bit of heat. These look to be a little bit, I don't want to say firmer, but not as badly crunched. And another one of the dragons, it looks like here. Makes it easy to go through, I imagine. And again, good basing material. They can do a nice sized chunk of it without having it be resin and brittle, or without it being metal and weighing 1,000 pounds. So I think we're going to just take a quick shot over into the center here. These look like the unique bag of heroes, which I really hope they would do in metal. Some of them even in resin, if they figure they can get more detail from them, because they've got a lot of potential in terms of how individualized and unique they were. But I will settle for them in Bones to start with, because even in this material you can actually get some fairly nice detail and some fairly nice workings, depending on how skilled you are, type of brushes you're using, patience level, things of that nature. Looks like here we've got some undead critters. Always need more undead critters, right? Bones for the bones. Oh, here we go. First bag punctured by a miniature. Looks like this one was one of their little terrain cases they did. And this is what I was speaking of when I hope to see more terrain of this. Because this bookshelf right here, this is very light. Going to be easy to paint up. And these little fungus towers or whatever they are right here, these will be great for, say, the Fighting Fungi Kickstarter, which will be delivered hopefully relatively soon. Alright, looks like another dragon here. And again, you can see the slots, deep, ridged, and easy to use, making it perfect for people who are new to miniatures and want to test their wits out on a larger one. This one is, the rat people. Not necessarily Skaven, this is the cute type, the Mouselings. And I did not purchase these for myself, but for my girlfriend, who I think will get a huge kick out of them if I ever actually, paint them up. Order ID. And let's see what we got here. This looks like the Rats packages. Here's their version of a ogre, rat ogre, as well as a couple giant rats and some other cretins that would be good for, say, a Skaven army or a war rat themed, or someone trying to give homage to a Fritz Lieber and his Fafhrd the Grey Mouser. Here we go. You're definitely not going to be able to see much of this, unfortunately, because these are transparent. These are the transparent effects, so you get some interesting ways of doing things here. And this is one of the things I've been very pleased to see with the miniature manufacturers, both from Reaper and others, like Weird, who have been doing different things with the way they do their plastics. This looks like a pack of villains, especially this guy right here. That's definitely not a hero, huh? Now these sharp curved wings and bat claws. And here we got another large creature. This one looks like Swamp Things. So I think this is going to be... Nope. Not quite demonic. A lot of things in this one too. Got some good materials here in terms of size. These are a little bit bigger than the standards, so it's going to make it easier to paint for those who want to test out, say, an airbrush. And the rest of this is just paint. I'm going to pop open some more of these and see how the rest of it looks. I hope everyone else enjoys opening up their bones and looking around. And hopefully everyone has more fun with it than I am going to, because I'm going to have to find a place to put all these things now that they're out of the box.